Hey y'all, it's Michelle from the Hudson Homestead. I'm just doing another video. This one is a Q&A about myself. Questions answered to get to know me. My husband and I didn't end up doing. We will eventually. It just has to be right timing with him. And these earrings, what you think? You think they're cute? These earrings were given to me by a good friend, Francesca Sparrow. And I guess that's how, I'm not sure if that's how she pronounces her last name, but she is just the sweetest person. I mean, she, got me a bunch of jewelry, a new pocketbook, and I mean, just thought of me when she was at the store. And I just think that just melts my heart. I mean, we don't really see each other all that often, and but when we do see each other, her family's from New York and Brooklyn, and they have real thick accents. I love their things that they say, like, we say, oh, you're kin, when you're kin to each other. She's like, kin? What is kin? And she gets tickled, and I get tickled at some of her, like she'll say, ooh, that's skeevy. And I'm like, skeevy? I've never heard of that before, but I love to hear her talk. But anyhow, back to this. This is just some questions answered to get to know me. So first off, my name is Michelle Ann Coyle was my maiden name, and I'm married to John Brian Hudson. And so my name is Michelle Ann Hudson. I am 54 years old. How old am I? I'm 54 years old. I'm going to be 55 on December 21st. I was born in 1966. How many children do I have? I have two grown sons, Jonathan Wayne Oxendine. That was from my first marriage. He's half Lumbee, half white. Here in North Carolina, there is a tribe in a Lumbee tribe. They are not federally recognized by the government, which I think is pretty stupid and sucky. Pisses me off, sorry, but it's true. Because you have all these other tribes, just because they're mixed, with white and black, it doesn't matter. But they have this rule, if you can go back 4 generations with no mixture involved, just straight Lumbee, they'll give you a card, and if they ever do get federally recognized, you'll get benefits or whatever it is that the government will give them, which I think there are some benefits now that they are getting. But I think it's like a certain age group, for their homes, maybe to repair their homes for the elderly, 60 and older. I'm not really sure. But anyhow, so my sons are half Lumbee. Their father is full-blooded Lumbee Indian. And let's see. So Jonathan Wayne is my first marriage, firstborn son. And he is 34. I think he's going to be... No, he's 33. He'll be 34 next week, November 22nd. He lives in Greenville, North Carolina, about 3 hours north of us. And then there's my youngest son, Joshua Michael, and he is 32. Oh, and Jonathan, my oldest, is not married, but he does have a fiancée. Her name is Tanya. And then Joshua... he has a partner that he's been with for about 5 years now. She is a little older than him, but she is very sweet. Her name is Bobby. She has really been there for Josh through a lot, and they've been good friends. I just don't know if it's a relationship that's going to stay. I don't know, but that's not my business. That's Joshua's business. And so, yeah, Joshua Michael, he is 32. He'll be 33, I believe, or is he 31? He'll be 32 in March, this next March. Okay, so next question. How did Brian my current husband, feel about becoming a step? That's a question I think he should answer. What do my boys call him? Jonathan has started calling him Dad. He was calling him Pops, and both my sons actually had started calling him Pops in just the past 5 years. But in the past year, my oldest son, Jonathan, has been calling Brian Dad. But now, when we first got married in 1998, Jonathan was 10, I believe, and Joshua was 8. And so Brian, my current husband, has been in their life since then. They still have a good relationship with their father. Matter of fact, he and I have a civil relationship. And my husband, my current husband, and him actually get along pretty good. You know, when him and my first husband and his mother, the great-grandmother of my grandchildren, they would come to visit because we would get the granddaughters. We actually have 4 grandchildren. Jalen is our oldest, Jalen Melissa, and she is 13, going to be 14 next July. And then the youngest granddaughter is Valina Michelle, named after me, my namesake. So I have a niece, my sister in Georgia, Rhonda. She has a daughter named Brittany Michelle, and she said she named her after me as well. So if that's the case, I got 2 young ladies who are my namesake, my niece and my granddaughter. But anyhow, Valina Michelle is turned 10 this past February. She'll be 11 in February. Then I have twin grandsons who were born, let's see, I think 2017, 18, 19, 20. They just turned 4. Nathan and Nicholas just turned 4 this past June. So they'll be 5 next June. So yeah, that's my children and my grandchildren, and I have a fur baby right down there. His name is Jake, little Jake. We used to have a big Jake. If you've seen any of my past videos, you've seen Big Jake there in my videos. And so when we got little Jake 2 years ago, this coming February, we named him Little Jake because he looked just like Big Jake, but he's as big as he's going to get, so not quite as big as Big Jake was. Big Jake was a mixed chocolate lab with a pit bull, and you could see the pit bull more in him, where this little guy is supposed to be mixed lab and pit bull, but not the chocolate lab. Brian said he's more of just a regular lab, which he does have a more narrower face. I personally don't see the pit bull in him, and I think he was a little runt because he was tiny at 2 months old when we first got him. So he'll be 2 next month, and we have had him since he was 2 months old. He's about the only dog we've kept that we've had since that close to birth. Okay, so I told you how old the boys were when we got married. Do they get along with Brian as their stepfather? I will also have my husband answer this next time we have I have a Q&A with him in it. But I will answer for this time. Do my sons get along with Brian as their stepfather? Well, as any blended family, if you know, some people do have a good relationship where my boys went through, testing Brian. And Brian's never had children of his own biologically. But before we got together, he had dated a girl for 5 years, and she had 2 boys that were the same ages as my sons. And when he was in their relationship, they were the same age. And I just think he's amazing. I mean, he did the best he could, and he wasn't perfect, but he was near perfect to me as far as in my book. So how many years have Brian and I been married? We just celebrated 23 years this past September. Did we have a honeymoon? Yes, we had a honeymoon. His mom paid for us to go on his mom paid for us to go on a cruise, and it was a 5-day cruise where we went to different islands each day. We had Curacao, we had Venezuela, Isle of Marguerite, St. Lucia, and Aruba, I believe. And so it was amazing. That was the first and only cruise I've ever taken, and I really, I just thought I had in my mind, how you stereotype, I guess, is what I did. I thought, it was all highfalutin people who had a lot of money and really fancy, shiny clothes, and yeah, that's how I thought, and that they were just nasty people, but we met some people from Denmark that we became friends with. And I mean, it was nothing. The people were so friendly. It was so much fun. It wasn't just highfalutin people. It was just down to earth people like us, you know. And so I really enjoyed it. I mean, food galore that you could eat all the time. I mean, it was amazing. I loved it, and I would love to do it again one day, Lord willing. So yeah, that was our honeymoon. That's where we went. What songs, if any, were played at your wedding? I chose the two songs to be played at our wedding, and one was Shania Twain, From This Moment On, and then the second song was a Stephen Curtis Chapman, and it was, what was the name? I can't think now. It was on the tip of my tongue. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've forgotten the other song in my wedding. I know it's a Stephen Curtis Chapman song, and it's a beautiful song. I just can't, it just has slipped my memory. I have to come back to that one. Sorry about that. If I could change one thing that happened in all the years that we have been married, what would it be? Probably around the 7-year mark. I'm sure if you've heard of the 7-year itch, it is a true thing. And yeah, so we went through a really tough time during that time due to a drug addiction. Yeah, we pretty much lost everything. And it really changed the boys' perception of us and how they felt about us. And, you know, and it hurt them emotionally. It put an emotional wound inside their soul, to be honest, and it affected them. Divorcing their father has really affected, especially my oldest, it has affected him pretty bad. And so anyhow, I would change that 7-year time and would look back and know what I needed to do as a wife. And stood up for what I needed to do as a wife. I mean, we both failed during that time, but the Lord restored our marriage when we, let's see, it was bad from, let's see, 98, 99, 2001, 2, 3, 4, yeah, no, 5. So 2005, we had been married 7 years, and from 2005 to 2007 it was really bad. For 2 years we were pretty much, the drug addiction had really taken hold in our lives. And so 2 years, from 7, 8, 9, and then it took a good 2 years after that for the Lord to heal our marriage. So I guess you'd say about a 4-year time period in our marriage, from the 7th year, 8, 9, 10, to the 11th year, was not very good at all. And if I could go back and change it, I'd change a lot on my end. So anyhow, let's see what we got. Okay, I said that. Will you ever renew your vows? Yes. We had planned on renewing our vows on our 20th wedding anniversary. However, Hurricane Florence came along and messed that up. And so we could have done it the next year, but we decided we wanted to really prepare real well for it, a lot better than we had. And so we're going to, Lord willing, renew our vows on our 25th, which is 2 years from now. But we're going to start getting into preparing for that. So yes, we are going to renew our vows on our 25th wedding anniversary, which will be in 2024. Where was our first date? Our first date was out going four-wheeling. Well, not four-wheeling. We took the truck and was going to ride, in the mud. And Brian was like, we had his father with us, and I was in the middle. And, and we seen this deep hole. This was in Hope Mills. We seen this deep hole, And Brian's like, I said, I don't know if we should go into that. And, he said, oh, no, I can make it. Well, he gets in there, and I'm not lying. The hole was so deep, the water came up to the top of the doors. And we had the windows down, so it was like starting to come in slowly. And I'm like, you shouldn't go any further. And his dad was like smoking a cigarette. I remember him saying, he put the cigarette out the window. He said, well, that was simple enough. And I just died laughing. But it was fun. It was exciting because this was our first date. And, but at the same time, it was a little scary because I didn't know what was going to happen. Well, Brian says that's the most expensive date he's ever had because I think it was $4,000 to have to get a new engine. I mean, it was terrible. The engine, we had to have it towed out of there. Oh, it was the worst first date for him. It was kind of funny to me, but anyhow, yeah, that was our first date. Our second date, we went to church together at his church, which was Aaron Lakes Baptist Church. Well, we decided to grab a bite to eat after church. So we went to Bojangles and sat inside and had like a breakfast sausage biscuit and some Bo Rounds and coffee. And we love drinking coffee together a lot. And it's funny, now that we're 52 and almost 55, we don't even hardly drink. Good thing for the K-Cups because we would be wasting a lot in the pot. And we just don't drink it. I drink it maybe, I drink more at work, which is 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day. Sometimes not even 2, just 1. But at home, I can go for days without, because I don't get up in time really, to make me some coffee. I just wait till I get to work. But when Brian's here, he doesn't drink coffee anymore, so it's almost like, well, I don't have my coffee buddy, which I did have a coffee buddy down in my old friend, Marilyn Baxley. I missed her so much. I would go to her house, sit in her kitchen, and we would drink coffee together, so I doubt Marilyn's watching. But if she is, I love you, my coffee buddy. I miss you. Okay, so that was our first couple of dates. Who said I love you first? I actually said I love you. And it was actually the night that we were waiting at the gas station around the corner from where we got stuck. And it was late, and I was like, I think he had picked me up and I left my car or something because I was thinking, how am I going to get home for some reason? So I must not have had my car. His truck's tore up. I can't remember what we did about that. I know I stayed with my first husband's cousin. I was close to her, Crystal, and she lived in Hope Mills because I believe she was in the military at the time. I can't remember. But anyhow, I spent the night with her in her apartment, which wasn't too far away. But that night at the gas station, waiting on the tow truck, it just came out. And I was like, oh my gosh. And yes, that was our first date, but we had already been, like, I would go over to his house after work. And, we would play pool at his house and hang out. Yeah, hang out. And that was, like the first month, that we were together. Oh, well, yeah, first month we were there together, we just kind of hung out at his house. But so that's why I say, so that first date, which was in the truck incident, that was probably a month after we had started talking or, hanging out. So that's why I call that our first date. So yeah, I said, I love you first. What does Brian do for a living? Brian is an electrician, has been for years. I mean, ever since he was 18 years old. I'm sorry, ever since he was 20. And he's 52 now. He does a great job with his work. He's a foreman now and in his company. So he's an electrician. I work for a nonprofit as a paralegal, and so I've been doing it for 14 years. I love it. It's the most rewarding job I've ever had. All right, how are we spending our holidays? Well, for Thanksgiving, we're going to go see my family in Atlanta. My parents are down there. My dad, Claude Coyle, he's 81, and my mama, Frances Coyle, is 82. She's got dementia, so And it's getting a little bad, you know, each time that I see her. And we try to go down there twice a year, like around July 4th, depending on when the holiday falls. Sometimes it could be Easter that we go. Sometimes it can be Memorial Day weekend. You know, whatever gives us a 3-day weekend that we can put an extra day with. So we automatically get Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving and the day after. So we, you know, usually go there for Thanksgiving, and that's what we're doing. We don't cook a meal anymore. Well, every now and then. I think last year, or year before last year we went to Golden Corral, and they do have good food, but it's, you know, it's nothing like when you're at home. And I've offered to bring a turkey, and my parents are like, no, we'd have to clean the kitchen. Let's just don't do that. They just don't want to do it. And I hate it. I wished I was at home, but it wouldn't make no difference. My oldest son and I are estranged at the moment. He hasn't spoken to me since October 22nd, but I'm planning on writing him a good letter to put in his birthday card. Anyhow, went around my elbow there, or down a rabbit hole, whichever you call it. So for Christmas, we're staying home. This is our first year that we have been here. 17, 18, 19, 20. It's been 14 years since we've had a fake Christmas tree. My husband got one last year after Christmas on sale, the tallest and biggest that you can get. I believe it's pre-lit as well. And he loves it. I mean, he's so excited, you know, because he picked it out. And it was expensive, but it was half off after Christmas. So, yeah, we're going to put it over there where the dog, his cage is. We got to put that up in the attic, and that's the area. We usually would put it right here in front of this window, but not this year. We're going to put it over there. So I got it down out of the attic this evening by myself. That thing is huge, but I slid it down the stairs. And so, yeah, my husband, I told him I had a surprise for him when he comes home Thursday night, because I'm going to have that tree decorated, put up and decorated, and the house is going to be decorated. This will be the first year I've ever decorated the house before Thanksgiving. But since we won't be here Thanksgiving, it's like I want to enjoy it that same amount of time, you know, and I'm losing some because we usually wouldn't get a real tree till, if we didn't get it that weekend we came back, you know, we were too tired that Sunday. Following weekend's like the first weekend in December already. And so we only had like 2 or 3 weeks to enjoy it, had to vacuum up needles and water it, and that just isn't me. I'd rather have just a fake tree, you know. But you know, it did smell good. So, okay, that's my husband. He loves a real tree. I'd rather have a fake tree. All right. So, yeah, we're going to be home for Christmas, and we've I invited my youngest sister, Marianne, and her husband, because they weren't having nobody come over for Christmas, and she's a truck driver, so she does her own days and times. She can get off whenever she wants, and my brother-in-law, who I've not met, her husband, I think he might be disabled. I'm not and, you know, gets a disability check. I'm not sure. So anyhow, I invited them. I don't know if they'll come or not, but I did invite them to come, you know, sometime, a couple of days during that week. I said, I'd love to meet your husband and, you know, just spend some good quality fellowship time together as sisters. She's my baby sister, 10 years younger than me, so she's just turned 45 or going to be 45 next year. I'm not sure. But she is 10 years younger than me. My baby sister, Marianne. So, yeah, we invited them, or I invited them. I haven't even told Brian yet, but I'm sure he'll be okay with it. And I don't even think they're going to really come. But if they did, that would be great. You know, I love opening my home up and serving people and just fellowshipping with love. What are you growling about? There ain't nothing to growl about now. Everything's okay. Hush. It's all right. He smells something at the door, that front door usually. I think there's been a rat on our windowsill because he's left droppings, and it's every single day. So, and my video's getting long, and I just wanted to hurry up. Okay, do we have other friends or couples that we hang out with? We really don't. I mean, other than our family and their significant others, since we, you know, moved here 14 years ago here on the coast in Wilmington. What state were we born in? I was born in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, at the Jacksonville Naval Air Station. And would you believe I have a friend on that I met first on our iPhones when they first came out. There was a game called Farm Story, and so her and her husband played it, and we became good friends. Christina, I'm sorry, they live up in Connecticut, and then we became friends on Facebook, and so her and I both were born, in Jacksonville at the Jacksonville Naval Air Station. So I thought that was pretty cool. I never knew of anybody else being born there, and it's not that big, I don't think. And then my husband was born in Atlanta, Georgia, not far from where my parents live now. So yeah, those are the states we were born in. When were we born? Brian was born May 29th, 1969. I was born December 21st, 1966. Let's see, that's a question. Okay. So we're at 26:05. I have some more that I would love to answer, but I think I'm going to save them to be in the video with my husband for Q&A with us if that ever happens. So, hey, I love you guys. That's a little bit about me that you know and my family, and I love you, but remember, Jesus loves you more. All right, bye-bye.